All right, well, a few more quick questions here sent in by Charlie in Starkville, Mississippi.
I should have known.
Jon Moxley recently commented on his friendship with Tony Khan. Moxley said, quote, "I've become great friends with Tony Khan, who is a great dude and the most successful promoter outside of Vince McMahon in many years." End quote. What are your thoughts on Moxley's friendship with Khan and his view of him as a promoter?
Well, if he's his friend, he'd have to have that view, wouldn't he? Because if he say, you know, I really like this guy, but Jesus Christ, he doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground on wrestling, that probably wouldn't do their friendship any good. So if you take it as Jon Moxley saying that, yeah, my friend's a good promoter too, then that's perfectly fine. If you take that as an unbiased, independent observation, you're fucking nuts. And again, people are going to say, well, he's got TNT television and he's got this. And yeah, because he's the son of a billionaire and they own professional sports franchises and major arenas. And so they traveled in the same social circle as the guy that was programming at the time, TNT. That's how that show got on the air. Is anybody really convinced that somebody with the greatest wrestling program ever aired and the greatest talent roster ever assembled in wrestling was going to walk in cold and get that same deal because they weren't at the same cocktail party as Kevin Riley? I give him all the benefit and praise in the world for his connections and the people he's able to contact and deal with and talk to because of the other businesses that Tony Khan is involved in. But let's face it, fucking P.T. Barnum could have come back from the dead and not been able to get that spot just because they weren't looking for wrestling. Here's a guy that owns a football team in Wembley Stadium and this thing and that thing. Oh, he's going to start a wrestling promotion. Okay.
Well, no, he dodoesn't own any of that. His father owns it, and his father owns AEW.
Saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. So did he start it from scratch the old-fashioned way and blah, blah, blah? No. You can't really do that anymore. But I can't imagine anybody saying, okay, just on the verge of the fact that he had the connections to get the show on the air, and he, let's face it, bungled the opportunity to have the best talent roster by relying on the views of a few certain people to sign all their friends instead of available talent. And the show has been a shit show that has basically held the same audience, which is the sum total of people in this country that are going to watch children play act wrestling. So is he the greatest promoter besides Vince in many years? No, absolutely not. Because you have to actually be good at something to be the greatest anything or the best anything in whatever time period. The booking's been abysmal. The talent roster is all over the fucking place and is half rotten. And they got on TV because of connections. I'm not knocking the guy. I'm just telling the truth. In what way has he excelled past a rich guy already having connections to do all this stuff? But the problem is he opened a restaurant and the food tastes like shit. Because he hired the wrong chefs and bought the wrong ingredients. It's still a big restaurant. And some people like the taste of shit because they're so desperate to come from the restaurant across the street where they're shoving battery acid down your throat. I don't know what else to say.
Do you think that there's any benefit at all to a promoter being friends with the talent?
Very little. It's very beneficial if the talent likes the promoter and if the promoter likes the talent, but ultimately it's a business relationship and you have to, at some point, I mean, I had that problem in Smoky Mountain where you couldn't have more than 18 guys, so sometimes guys had to go, And I hated because I liked some guys to not be able to book them anymore and tried to find places for them to go. Other times, I kept guys, even if they were a little stale, because there was nobody available to replace them that were as good as them. And I figured, well, I'm not going to fucking take a goddamn step down, even if it's new. I'll keep the guy that can outperform the other guy, even if he's old. But eventually you're going to have to fire people. And how do you, then Tony, well, I got to let you go, John.
I thought we were friends.
Yeah, exactly. That's when that comes up.
We used to hang out by the fence.
Yeah, down in the boiler room. In front of the fucking concrete block wall. We were buds.
I gave you some of my thumbtacks, man.
Yeah. The tax, man, the tax. I don't know. It just, everybody's gone off the deep end with this thing. I wish, I wish it was successful. I wish it was a good show. Then not only would we watch it and have some good shit to watch and talk about, but as I said before, they might actually get some viewers and bring some people back to watching wrestling instead of the people that are the only people that can watch AEW are people that want to watch wrestling and laugh at it and make a joke out of it. Everybody else is offended.
See, I'm bothered for very selfish reasons. Like you said, I want it to be a good show. I want to be able to, I truly wanted to have a new product that I would enjoy. And they have just treated me the way they've treated all the other fans.